Alrighty, so today we're going to talk about how to build an actual elite team without babysitting these people. And look, we're not going to talk, fluff, because the biggest thing is every single business owner and sales manager, they say they want elite sales reps, but almost nobody actually knows what that means or how to even build a team full of them. We're not going to talk about fake culture talk or motivational hype. This is how you actually build a sales team that runs without you, where performance is automatic and standards actually enforce themselves. And the biggest thing that you want to do is you don't want to build elite teams with average people. That goes without saying. You build elite teams with absolute savages. And across all the B2B sales teams that I've scaled, it's the same pattern. Elite sales reps, they absolutely hate being around average people. And average sales reps typically complain about elite reps pushing too much. And the biggest problem is when you keep average sales reps, your best sales reps typically leave because elite sales reps don't need reminders, they don't need pep talks, and they don't need occasional check-ins because they're already 10 steps ahead. And these are the guys that are messaging you that they already fixed, some SOP, because these guys are allergic to inefficiency. But, the average sales reps, they coast. They do only what their job says to do. They're the guys that complain that marketing needs better leads. They blame everything on the bad leads. They talk about how they had good conversations with prospects, but they didn't close. And all in all, average sales reps are going to cap your growth. And if you build your company on just pretty good people, you're going to stay stagnant. And really, as a business owner and a sales manager, you want to stop pretending that average is elite. Because a lot of these people, they love to overrate what these guys are capable of. And I think it's a lot of times because they hired them, they think that this is a reflection of themselves. So you always hear these guys, bragging about, oh, this guy's close rate is so high, or this setter is such a beast. But you need actual data. You want to diagnose the problems with logic and data, because other than that, those guys are just all talk. And elite sales reps, they don't just guess, they track, they fix, and they think in cause and effect. Because if someone can't explain why results dipped or how to actually fix them, they're not elite, they're just emotional. And emotional and average sales reps are going to destroy your performance. And accountability isn't about micromanagement, it's about visibility. Every role owns a number. Setters know how many qualified meetings are booked, closers know the revenue and close rate, and leadership knows the ramp speed plus retention. And then marketing, they should know cost per qualified conversation, cost per lead, all those stuff, because you want everything visible daily. And if your reps can hide, they absolutely will. But when everyone's numbers are on the wall, this is where performance rises naturally. Because when statistics drop, we don't yell, we simply problem solving. Number one, we take a look at what specifically is going wrong. Number two, what the plan is to fix it. And number three, what we actually need to do to fix it as soon as possible. And elite sales reps and elite, business owners, they love pressure, while, the mid and average people are simply just crumbling from it. And you can't claim to have high standards with no consequence. Like I said in previous videos, we run a specific strike system that is extremely simple. If you miss your KPIs or don't report, that's a strike. If you're late to meetings with no heads up, that's a strike. If you're not recording calls or doing what you're told to do, that's a strike. And 3 strikes, you're out. Not because we're harsh, but because killers won't stay if laziness is allowed. And culture typically dies when effort becomes optional. You don't need to be yelling, you just need to be clear. And this is specifically how we operate. If that's not you, you don't stay. And with this clarity, this is actually real leadership. Next, the biggest thing is, you can't build a team of killers while paying like it's corporate. If someone is adding, $3,000 a month in revenue capacity, you can't be paying them like an average rep because these people are not an average rep. They're infrastructure, they're growing the business, and top performers know their worth. A lot of times it's not always just the money, but they want growth, freedom, status, and challenge. And you want to know what each elite rep is driven by and build incentives around it, because that's how you retain them and ultimately how you get them to grow the company. Because the biggest thing is you want to stop these average sales reps from overtaking the company, and you want elite sales reps and elite leaders to essentially lead the company. And a big thing too is, obviously this isn't really fluff, but you have to have a mission. And your company's only mission with this, if it's only to make more money, you're only going to attract people that are average. Elite people are typically, yes, they're money driven, but they also want to build something that matters. And, you want to have a good mission around your company because it's not fluff, it's actually purpose. And you want to attract people who are purpose driven, not only money hungry. And the people who actually have a purpose, they don't burn out. They build your company and they absolutely obsess over the vision. So the framework is very simple. Number one, you want to raise the bar. You want to cut average people and keep the killers. Number two, you want to make numbers public. Everyone has to see the data and everyone has to keep everyone accountable internally. Number three, you want to enforce standards. If you miss meetings or reports, you get a strike. Number four, you want to pay for impact. You want to, comp adults like adults, not like little kids. If these people are crushing it and making you, $300,000 a month, you want to pay like they are. And lastly, you want to actually give an actual purpose, because purpose outlasts motivation. And if you do all these things, you stop managing individuals and you start leading an elite movement. The final message is most business owners never build actual real teams because they're afraid to demand excellence. And if you want a team that scales without you, you got to hire elite reps, make accountability public, enforce standards, and build an actual mission that matters to these people. And that's specifically what we do for clients. And we build on the systems, the reporting, and accountability that really just make sales teams lethal. If you're ready to stop guessing, reach out to me and we will see you in the next video.